My name is Axel Post, and I am a Division II backup weak hitting catcher. And I'm here with my friend Tate Stone Frisina, who is a D2 washout reliever, closer, starter, pinch runner. And this is Thinking Right Center. Nailed it again, Tate. One take.
Oh,
Let's go.
huge, huge.
So we have not talked in, at least not done the pod in a while.
No, but we did see each other.
We did see each other,
It was excellent
which
time.
was surreal.
Shout out to Baby Stu, who got married. I was actually texting him yesterday. Got a lot of pictures from their honeymoon. Stu's very sunburnt already
Yeah, perfect.
and complaining. But yeah, it was a great time. Went down to Steven Swift's wedding. We had a great
Right.
time. But yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah, we haven't talked in a while. So we haven't talked since
So busy.
Yamamoto's. Yeah, Yamamoto signed. We haven't talked about that.
I mean, the evil empire, the new evil empire.
Yeah, I feel like I texted you this earlier. It's like there's not much to really say.
No, it's like the Dodgers have all the money in the world,
Yes.
and they were able to throw it at Yamamoto.
Yeah.
I love thinking about the discrepancy between the Oakland Athletics and the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's amazing.
I mean, so Yamamoto got 12 years, 325 million, which is the largest contract in the history of the MLB, or just MLB, not the it's not the Major League Baseball, it's just Major League Baseball. And which is wild, but I think it's also we talked about it where we didn't think it was a risk signing him.
No, he's a sure thing.
Right. And so we've said that over and over again. And being the richest pitcher in the league now just proves it, right? With all the data that we have
Yeah.
on pitching now, it's not that much of a risk to go out and get like these Asian pitchers. We are going to talk about four of them actually in this one episode because four of them end up signing. Like the risk for signing pitchers is just isn't really there anymore. Like the data's there. So
Yeah. And I think Yamamoto, number one all time cool guy. I don't know if you've like seen the stuff about his training. He doesn't lift weights at all, and he
oh yeah.
throws javelins.
Yeah, he's just he's
Which
weird.
I wish I knew about that. When I was pitching, I only bench pressed and curled for like 3 years. If I was throwing javelins, I could have been in the league by now.
You would be in the league if you're
Yeah. So,
hucking javelins in the outfield.
oh, I would have. Our coach Shogi would have probably had a heart attack.
But there's also so he got a $50 million signing bonus too. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
just like insane. It's just like the Dodgers, like we have so much money, we don't know what to do with it. So here's more.
Yeah, and
Here's more money.
that's also on top of I believe it's roughly $15 million they have to pay to I forget what team he was on in Japan, but they have to pay that posting fee, which is roughly 50 million. So all in all, this is costing the Dodgers 425 million, roughly.
It's all worth it if they win a World Series, you know?
Right. And I remember when I asked you at one point after they signed Otani if it made them the favorites to win the World Series. And at that point, you said yes, and I said no. I mean, anybody with a fucking brain now knows that they're the favorites. I mean, come on.
That rotation, if they stay healthy, is unhittable. Like if you're playing a 7 game series,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's
They
it's
don't even have Otani. It just doesn't like they won't be pitching Otani. It just won't matter.
yeah, it doesn't
They
like
don't if they don't win, it's the stunner of the season. But I guess that's the great part about MLB
yeah.
is that like
Now,
the Diamondbacks won like 84 games and went to the World Series. Like
yeah.
it
Well,
happens.
there's now two things. Obviously, we got to root for the Braves, but we can root against the Dodgers all the
Yeah.
time. Evil.
Uh,
But yeah, it's crazy.
and the Dodgers signed Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, they also did that.
I forget. Like it's the offseason only started for the Dodgers. Nobody else got the message.
it's like, yeah, was no one else needing a power hitting righty outfielder?
The Red Sox offered 2 years, 28 million, and he signed with the Dodgers for 1 year, like 23 and a half.
It would have been so cool in the Red Sox.
Yeah, he would have.
Just a pull happy guy, like pull happy righty guy, just peppering the monster. Like I would have loved to see that.
Also mashes lefties. We'll get into that. We'll get into the Red Sox later.
Oh yeah.
But Also, I was looking at Yamamoto's contract details. There's a really weird one in here. Um, so if he's on the injured list for more than 135 days due to his right elbow, the opt-outs change from 2029 and 2031 to 2031 and 2033.
Okay, so
It's a 2-year delay.
yeah, I mean that makes sense. The biggest thing with Japanese pitchers is most do come over here and in the first 2 years have Tommy John.
So
Like
they're protecting
Otani,
themselves against that.
Darvish. Yeah, I don't know exactly why that is. Because usually they throw a lot more volume when they're in Japan, and then they ramp down when they come to the US, just like culturally how we do
Mhm.
arm care and stuff. So I don't know, no scientist or sports medicine person, but like for whatever reason, it's a pretty common occurrence. So it makes sense. I mean, it's so far away. Like you don't know. Like I don't think it really matters that much.
No, it really doesn't. Especially, I mean, if he stays healthy, I think he will actually, like, there's a chance he does opt out.
Yeah.
Like, if he's one of the best pitchers in the league and 2029 rolls around, he's going to opt out of that because
He's
guy,
gonna be
guys
what,
are
like
gonna,
31,
I think he'll be
30?
30. I think he'll
Yeah.
be 30. So he'll be 30 years old going to free agency as one of the best pitchers out there. He'll hit free agency,
He'll get more money.
get even more money, which is
That,
crazy.
yeah, that's insane to think about.
But yeah, I mean, again, the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They have all the money. There's not much more to say. But
No.
we'll move on to the Cubs, who finally woke up. The Cubs finally realized that the offseason was happening, and they signed Shota Imanaga on a really cheap deal.
Was it 4 years, 50,
Free.
53? I like him too. I mean, he's good lefty pitcher. He doesn't throw super hard, really good changeup. I looked at his stats for the show and I was pretty impressed. He's like had like under a 3 ERA the past, 5 or 6 years.
He led the NPB in strikeouts last year.
Yeah, no, he's super, super impressive. Very under the radar guy. Like I didn't hear much buzz about him coming over or getting posted. I think that's a great signing by the Cubs.
Yeah, I think so. I'm worried about the windy days at Wrigley because he is like a fly ball pitcher.
Just nukes.
Yeah, I think he had like a 55% fly ball rate
Yeah.
in Japan. And if it's the wind's howling out there, then it might be ugly. But like for what we see middle of the rotation starters go for, this is relatively cheap. It's under 15 million a season. Like that's
I mean, yeah,
Stroman.
look at every recent deal. Like that is very cheap. Like
Giolito is going to make more than him for the next 2
oh
seasons.
yeah.
Like I don't understand. And there was a report going out there that there was a team that offered double, but he really wanted to go to the Cubs, and that was a John Heyman report.
A classic.
I
Well,
can't.
the Cubs are, one of those like blue blood teams. But yeah, I thought there'd be way more competition for him.
Yeah,
Every team needs a good, reliable starter, and he is exactly that. He slots into any rotation.
yeah. I thought it was an extremely cheap deal, and even if he does have some blow up starts when the wind is really blowing out, you pay because what is that annually? 14 and
Yeah, 4 years, 53.
14-ish, yeah, 13
Yeah,
and a half ish. You pay that amount of money for a middle of rotation starter.
yeah, yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
Like very, very easily.
It's weird. There's certain teams that like sign Japanese players. Like try and think of the last time the Braves had a Japanese player,
It's all in the
or,
coast.
or the Nationals.
It's the coast. The only teams that sign
Yeah,
foreign players are on the coast. The middle of the country
yeah.
gets
The
gypped out
Brewers,
of agents.
the Brewers are not
Now,
signed Japanese player. I always wonder why that is. I think maybe it has something to do with like GMs and their connections, but
yeah, or I don't know, like some comfortability in the bigger cities or like specific cities. Because I know Seattle is weirdly like a hub.
yeah, like West Coast, yeah, like
West Coast teams, stuff like that.
Angels, Dodgers, yeah, that makes sense. It's super interesting. But yeah,
But
great signing by the Cubs, and also his press conference was hilarious.
yes,
It was
awesome.
like What do you say? He's like, what do you say?
Yeah, what do you say? Cubs are gonna win today. He's saying he did his
Yeah.
rendition of "Go Cubs Go," which is
Yeah.
awesome. It's so funny.
It was so cool to hear.
Like it's like the only English words that he knows. He just knows "Go Cubs Go."
All he needs, man.
That's all you need. And throw a baseball. And they
Yeah.
also they pulled off. This is a cool trade.
I've been a Michael Bush believer
Yeah,
just because I stumbled upon him in an MLB The Show franchise one time. I'm like, look at this. He's a power hitting lefty second baseman. And there was no place for him on the Dodgers.
no, and that's been
He's
the
a little
problem.
older already. He's like 26 now,
So he, honest to
out
God,
of options as well.
honest to God, should have been like if he's in any other organization, he's been in the big leagues for the past 2 seasons.
He hit like 320 with like 30 bombs this past year in AAA.
Yeah, he routinely would hit like 300 with 30 bombs, but the where was he going to play? He just wasn't going to play anywhere with the Dodgers. And ultimately, he came down. It's a 40-man crunch,
Yeah,
which is
they're
weird.
out of options. He would have been just taken off waivers anyway.
Yeah, so it's weird that a top 100 prospect is going to be the victim of a 40-man crunch, but that's where the Dodgers are at this point.
That's an insane thing to
Yeah,
say. Michael Bush and Yency Almonte, who is like a very high upside reliever, who
yeah,
has
he's just a
lots
good
of
reliever.
stuff for
Yeah,
like a pitching prospect who's still pretty low. I think he made his pro debut last year, and like an outfielder or something like that.
yeah. So it's Jackson Ferris and Zaire Hope. They're both like very high upside
Yeah,
guys, but Jackson Ferris is 19. He's the pitcher
he's a
who,
lefty. Yeah,
has a really high upside, but 19. And Zaire Hope, who I think is still 18. Again,
yeah.
super high upside.
Great organization to go to. I mean, the Dodgers player development is insane.
Yeah.
Um, and Jackson Hope he had a good year last year in his pro debut. I know he was a second rounder, IMG guy.
Yeah.
So
He's very good. He's very like highly touted, but it's comparing apples to oranges, right? Like it's two big leaguers for two 18-year-olds, essentially.
yeah, you won't know what you get until
Yeah.
years
Anybody that's like oh, what's the grade on this trade? It's like you don't know. You have no idea.
yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah, I do think the Dodgers, like, if they did this a year before, have gotten the haul for Michael Bush.
for sure.
But I mean, they waited. It's sad because he's so talented, and I feel like they wasted like 2 years, you know. But now, like, obviously, Gavin Lux is going to be back. Like, they really don't have a spot for him, so makes sense.
Yeah, Gavin Lux is back. Mookie's playing second.
Yeah,
Like Muncie's still there.
yeah, yeah. It's
I think
just
they're gonna roll with Miguel Vargas over Bush.
and the Cubs the Cubs infield is nasty.
Yeah, well, Bush is probably gonna play third.
Yeah, he's gonna play third. And then they had their bullpen last year was pretty up and down, and they have a pretty good piece to put in there that can put a lot of stuff together. So I think a great trade for the Cubs. Good start to their offseason, right?
Yeah, it only took them 3 months, but it's started now. But I just think Almonte, like it certainly makes them better right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think you can worry about 4 years from now when Jackson Ferris makes his MLB debut if you're the Cubs.
Yeah, and I think now with the way the Central Division is so winnable, like it's a great move.
Yeah, and the Dodgers made out well too. Like you get two high upside young prospects for two guys that you honestly don't need.
Yeah, that you had to get rid of at some point. I mean, Almonte, you could have just kind of kept around, but Michael Bush, you had to get him, either call him up and start him or get him off your roster somehow. So
yeah, and you got some upside for him, which works.
I feel like they did right by him trading him. Like if you had Michael Bush as like a big league backup, like
that sucks
for a top 100 prospect. Like I think that's kind of a cool thing to do, like trading him instead of like just waiting for someone to get hurt and filling it with Michael Bush.
Yeah, I mean, another good Dodgers move.
Yeah, it's evil
happening.
empire.
And then another trade between our two favorite teams.
Yes, yes. Good for both sides.
In
I'm coming
in a
around.
vacuum, in a vacuum, definitely good for both sides. Chris Sale with $17 million for Von Grissom. When I know like we had our initial reactions about it, but what what did you end up like? What was
So,
your
I mean, my
final?
initial reaction was like, this is a desperate move. Like Chris Sale, made of glass, and I like Von Grissom a lot because he's cool. Now, kind of thinking about it, it's a lot like the Michael Bush trade, honestly. Like Von Grissom really didn't have a spot on the Braves. I am worried about Arcia struggling. He did in the second half last year, but Von Grissom, I think, like at shortstop, just isn't the answer. Just his defense is really, really up and down at shortstop. His bat is obviously great. Um, wasn't part of the Braves' long-term plans. He was, got called up in, what was it, 2021, 2022? Like,
22, 22.
yeah, for some like emergency things. And like he should be in the big leagues because his bat is ready. And he didn't have a spot this year. And the Braves needed a starter pretty badly. And I think the Red Sox, on the other hand, kind of wanted to unload Chris Sale after a pretty disappointing past couple of years. And if it all works out, like if Chris Sale ends up being the guy he was for the Braves, like that really propels them, especially in the playoffs. And then the Braves are going to extend him for not a crazy amount of money, which I was happy about. So I've come around on it. I like Sale a lot. He's happy to be in Atlanta because he grew up a Braves fan. And yeah, I'm just hoping it works out. And I'm happy Von Grissom is going to get to go somewhere and play a lot.
Yeah, I think I agree with it where I saw it originally and I was like, the Braves see everything the Dodgers are doing and they're like, we need a fucking somebody.
Yeah,
Like we need somebody. But I think when you sit down and really think about it, the only way that the Braves just need more upside to be able to compete with the Dodgers. Right. Like, because if Chris Sale, like the Braves and the Dodgers are comparable teams if Chris Sale is like Chris Sale.
oh yeah, yeah.
Right. If that rotation is now Strider, Max Fried, Chris Sale, Charlie Morton,
Bryce Elder,
right, I guess.
Watsgari Noah.
Yeah. Who cares who the five is?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But like that playoff rotation of Strider, Fried, Sale, Morton is just as good as Yamamoto, Bueller, Miller, and Glasnow. Maybe not just as good, but certainly comparable.
No, it gives you a chance to compete. That's all
Yes.
you can ask for against the Dodgers, like
Yes.
a chance.
And it is a risk signing Sale, but Sale did end the year very well.
Yeah, yeah. I remember we were talking about it. We were like, "Oh yeah, Chris Sale's coming back," and he came out and he pitched well, and his stuff looked the same, which I was excited about.
His
Like,
his K numbers are still like 11 or 12 per nine. He still strikes out the world.
yeah, no, he's definitely a very cool pitcher to have.
Yeah, I hope he's really good
Me too.
because even if he's really good, I still think it's worth it for the Red Sox for where they are to trade 1 year of Chris Sale for 6 years of Von Grissom.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, we both agree Chris Sale will be great. Where does Von Grissom fit in with the Red Sox?
Second base. He's just going to play second base. Where I think, I don't think he has the staying power defensively at short, but if he's even close to being a MLB shortstop, that means he can be an MLB second baseman for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, if you get a plus bat at second base, that's huge because there are not a lot of those out there.
Yeah, and Von Grissom hit 330 with a
Yeah,
419 on base and a 501 slugging and 102 AAA games this year. Like this guy
yeah,
breaks.
I know, insane.
He just turned 23 like a couple days ago. So happy belated birthday to Von Grissom.
Yeah,
But he's still super young. If he had prospect eligibility, he would be a top 30, top 25 prospect who rakes. If he plays average defense at second, he's a awesome player.
You know who Von Grissom's high school teammate was that was taken maybe in the same draft, maybe year before?
Is it Riley Green? They played Oviedo, right? Yeah.
Haggerty.
Haggerty. Okay. Yeah. But both from Oviedo, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They played against our good friend Spencer Ming.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I love Von Grissom. I kind of always have. I love Chris Sale too, but it was definitely time for the Red Sox to move off of him, especially with how our off season's going, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing.
Red Sox. Interesting offseason so far.
Yeah, like signing. Well, I guess this segues us perfectly. Third, Giolito, Lucas Giolito, two
We
years.
were talking about that. You were like, I really just don't want Giolito.
I was like I just don't want him. I'm going to talk myself into thinking he's going to be okay.
It's just the inconsistency. You don't know what you're getting, especially like early on in his career, he had those mechanical issues, completely redid his mechanics like on the mound. And then he had one outstanding year where you're like, okay, like this guy's figured it out. And then now it's just so up and down. Last year, no, it's tough getting traded and waiver claimed and all that. And like he was terrible at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, I think it's fair to probably write that up. Like we can write off the trade and getting wavered and fucking this, that, and the other. I think it's fair to be like, all right, kind of it's excusable. But it is nice that he's gonna pitch, right? At the very
Yeah,
least.
you
He's
got
gonna
pitches.
give you innings. There's innings there. It's just the start by start basis where there are going to be outings where he gives you 6 innings with 1 or 2 runs, and you're going to think like, oh, Giolito's back. And the next outing, he's going to give up 3 home runs in the first 2 innings, and you'll be like, okay, get him the fuck off the mound.
Also, I think his stuff has gotten like he doesn't have like as much zip on his fastball. He's not throwing as hard.
No,
Yeah, I'm not sure why. But yeah, it's weird because he's still not old.
no, he's not old at all.
So
He got called up when he was pretty young.
yeah, exactly.
He's not. I don't even think he's 30 yet. And if he's 30, he's bang on 30.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. He's kind of, I don't know, just hope for the best.
Yeah, so Breslow is like he got his claim to fame with the Cubs because the pitching development,
Yeah,
right? Like the Cubs developed, like he got hired, and there's a direct correlation between him getting hired and the Cubs producing some real good pitchers.
yeah, like out of nowhere too.
Right, like the whole pitching development thing. And so maybe Breslow sees something,
Maybe. You never
right?
know.
Maybe he sees some kind of pitch, new pitch that they could develop, or this, or some kind of tunneling. I don't know. Some nerd shit that I don't know about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
So I'm
I,
not going to write it
I,
off.
why
I'm not
not?
going to write it off. I was excited that the Red Sox did something because they've done fucking nothing.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, at least we got like some new guy that I can watch at the very
Yeah.
least.
That as a fan, I think you just kind of summed it up perfectly. It's like it doesn't even matter if they're good. I just like new players.
I just wanted a new
Like
player. We
something
didn't.
new that I can be like, okay, this is a developing story.
Yeah. And then we'll see how he does. If he's, I don't know. It's just the pitching market is so wild. The market in general is so wild. Where,
Yeah, it's just so inflated right now.
yeah. But also what I didn't understand. So Stroman goes to the Yankees
Yes.
for
Yeah.
essentially the same deal.
Yeah, exactly. And Stroman, I don't get this with Stroman. He gets no media attention. He's a very outspoken person that gets no media attention, which is really weird. And he's solid. Like he is good.
He's going to give you an under 4 ERA.
He was so solid for the Cubs last year. And like
And the
we
year before that.
we were so surprised. We're like, Stroman's a free agent. Like no one said anything. No one told us.
I don't understand. Like Marcus Stroman is so much better than Lucas Giolito. I'm sorry, he just is.
Yeah. Yeah. And he also like had some weird thing with the Yankees. I forgot what he said.
Yeah, so the Cashman at one point was like thought he was like, yeah, we saw Stroman in our bullpen.
Yeah, he said like not a difference maker or something like that.
Yeah, which is nuts, which is an insane thing to say. And then Stroman came out and said, like, yeah, everybody everybody besides Garrett Cole is a fucking bum, essentially.
Yeah.
And then he liked a tweet that was like Garrett Cole is the biggest baby alive or some shit like that. And
I
so
hope Strowman goes in and just implodes that team.
I hope he does too. It'd be the funniest thing in the world.
But yeah, it's a weird. And then he just signs with them.
And then there's rumors 3 days ago, and
Yeah, it was like Strowman's interested in the Yankees. Yankees aren't interested. Then
yes,
it's both sides interested. And then now it's like, okay, Strowman signed.
yeah, it was like one day Strowman was interested and the Yankees weren't. The next day they were both interested. The next day he signed a contract.
It's almost like the Yankees were paying attention to news at the same time as we were. They're like, oh, Strowman's interested in us.
It's
I saw
crazy.
the tweet.
I don't understand if because I maybe they were thinking the same thing that I was, which is all the shit that he had talked and all the shit they had talked about him that was not going to get resolved, so they didn't even reach out.
Yeah.
I don't blame them,
Yeah.
but in a vacuum, from just a player perspective, it's a great deal for it's a great signing for the Yankees.
I totally agree.
Give some length in a rotation where your five was going to be a disaster, and now it's not.
Yeah. Totally.
So,
Totally.
you know, I don't know why the Red Sox didn't go get him instead of Giolito, but
And Strowman pitches a lot.
Stroman does pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really weird. It's been a really weird pitching offseason.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed with the Red Sox.
Strowman would have been a really good pitcher for them.
I know, and I keep seeing reports that they're not like, yeah, like Montgomery's not going to go to the Sox, Snell's not going to go to the Sox. It's just like barren right now. It's like the rumors right now are Mike Clevenger, and it's like, okay,
Forgot about Mike Clevenger.
yeah, that's my point, I guess.
He threw a dip spit on his baby.
That's allegedly.
I think it was an accident, but still not a good thing to do.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we weren't there, so we don't know.
I wasn't there, so I don't know, and I won't speak on it.
Yeah, we don't want to be those type of guys.
But before I go on a fucking horrible rant about the Red Sox that nobody wants to hear, we'll move on to the Giants, who have been doing some interesting things.
Really, just Giants moves, just Giants being Giants.
They really
the
do.
trade. They sent Mitch Haniger back to the Mariners for to get his glory back. Robbie Ray he's coming off TJ, so he'll be available later in the year. But I think he'll have a bounce back year.
It's Haniger, Desclafani, which is a not a zero player,
He's a solid starter.
and $6 million. So I love Mitch Haniger going back. I love reunions, I think.
Oh yeah.
I love that he's going back.
Yeah, abysmal last year.
Horrible. But it's the thing with Mitch Haniger is that if he plays a full season, he's going to be really good.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But if he has any kind of lingering anything, he's going to suck.
That's what we saw.
And we saw some kind of lingering injury, and he sucked.
Yep.
So maybe he goes back to the Mariners. Maybe a place he's more comfortable, knows the trainer, because certainly he'll be in with them.
Oh, and, yeah.
Like he hit 39 homers in 2021. He hit like 30.
Mariners, not a 39 homer type of ball club.
No, well, it's really hard to hit home runs at Safeco.
Yeah.
The big place. And the ball does not carry.
It's a big old park.
So I hope the Mariners got way better with this. And I guess we can talk about Luke Raley now because it's not really a huge thing.
Yeah. Raley, good last year.
Probably won't be as good.
Yeah, that's what I was reading about him. A lot of people, I didn't know the year before his stats, how bad he was.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys. It's like the Rays protected him, only put him in situations where he was going to succeed. He had like a 130 something WRC plus, and it certainly won't be that high if he has to play, on a regular everyday basis.
And the Mariners gave the Rays an infielder.
Jose Caballero.
Yeah, I remember him. He's like a weak hitting, good infielder. That's
Yeah,
a very brilliant type of player.
yeah. I'm convinced that another matter that we won't speak on. The only reason they made that move is because Wander Franco is not going to play baseball probably ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, a matter that we still know nothing about pretty much. But should be interesting. But yeah, no, that's definitely you get like a guy who can probably fill in a shortstop
Just play
along with.
shortstop. You need somebody to go fucking play shortstop.
I think they
And
have like Taylor Walls still.
yeah,
And like those guys can play defensive shortstop at the major league level. It's just the hitting. Um, but yeah, I think that you're very right. Like they're like, okay, we need a shortstop. Luke Raley's very expendable for us. Let's do it.
and it makes I like it for the Mariners.
Yeah,
Some
I
kind
mean,
of depth in your lineup.
yeah, and you get a little pop maybe, like
And
good lefty bat, nice.
so you've gotten a nice you got Haniger back, who's a good righty power bat when he's healthy. You have Luke
Yep.
Raley, who's a decent lefty power bat.
Yep.
Desclani, basically
A middle is a rotation starter.
right, who's not even going to be in the middle of the rotation because your rotation's that fucking good.
Yeah, their rotation is nasty.
Right? He's obviously worse than Robbie Ray, but you don't need Robbie Ray.
No,
You
no.
didn't need him. So trade him for Haniger and basically your sixth starter. So if anybody gets hurt, Desclafani is the backup plan, and throw in $6 million. Go trade for Luke Raley. And I don't think they're the greatest team in the world, but I certainly like them a lot better than I did before they did all these moves.
And what do we think about Robbie Ray on the Giants? I mean, he won't be available until later in the year, obviously, but
Yeah, I think this season, man, for the Giants, we've talked about it. It's just a wash. I can't.
they can't compete in that division.
No, there's no amount of moves they can make for them to go and make any kind of meaningful impact. Like maybe they sneak into a wild card, maybe, but that's going to be really hard.
Yeah, I really don't see that happening. Yeah, I mean, they'll be one of those teams that's kind of cool just because they have some cool players. But yeah, I don't see them doing much anything.
Yeah, and I am kind of I'll be honest, I'm kind of a Robbie Ray hater.
His tight pants don't do it for you.
The tight pants and the walking people, I just don't love it. But he
High
is,
walking, high strikeouts guy.
yeah. Besides this past season, where I'm like Tommy John happens, right? It happens to everybody at this point. He throws like 170 plus innings basically every year,
Yeah, and
which is
he's shown he can be really good.
right. And I don't think he's not going to win the Cy Young ever again. It's not going to happen.
Now, older guy coming off of Tommy John, he might not be quite what he was, but I think like the Giants moving away from Haniger anyway, and then Descalfani, like older starting pitcher. Why not? Right?
Yeah, why not take your upside play with Robbie Ray? Because you need, again, it's kind of the similar thing with the Braves. Every team in the National League is going to need to bank on some upside here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another trade where we're kind of like, there's no loser of this trade, at least for now.
No,
Like,
not for now. I mean, maybe Robbie Ray is never healthy again, but we can't predict that.
Yeah, and at worst, you gave up two guys who you were paying a good amount of money to that probably weren't going to be on the team long term anyway.
Yeah, they wanted to get off the Haniger contract.
Yeah,
that frees them up to do maybe some other stuff there.
like get Jordan Hicks and
Like-
make him a starter.
I guess. Yeah.
Dude, I've never been so confused. Every team has tried to do like the Giants or the Cardinals tried to do it with Hicks, and he got hurt. He's so good as a reliever.
I
Or he was.
because
He
this
was.
happened today.
Yeah,
I saw the contract come in and I was at the gym, so I just gave it a quick look. I'm like, 4 years, 44 million for Hicks. And then I kind of was walking around and look at my phone, I'm like, 4 years? I'm like, that's kind of a lot I'm like, that's a long time for a reliever.
yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? And so I went back on my phone. I was like, planned to use as a starter. It's like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, why?
Why? I don't know. If it works, it's the greatest signing ever.
Because yeah, you have 11 mil a year invested into. The guy can't be bad if he throws strikes. Like the ball is unhittable.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, 100 mile per hour blitz ball at you.
Yeah. I mean, there's like, I don't, what do they, he throws a sinker, a four seamer, and a slider.
Yep.
Are they planning on introducing a new pitch?
New
Or
pitch. No, I have no idea, honestly.
like, is he going to start throwing a splitter? Is he like what? Because you can't just throw a four seam sinker and a slider and go like, yes, I am a starting pitcher now, or at least a starting pitcher in the traditional sense of the word.
Yeah, I don't know. I am excited to watch it play out though, because it's not my team.
Oh, super excited! Watching Jordan Hicks is awesome,
Yeah, exactly. He's
right?
so
Like,
cool.
but he's only thrown like the most amount of innings he's thrown in a year is like 70 something,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
been a reliever for a while now. Like he got called up forever ago. He hasn't started a game in a long time.
Exactly. So at worst, you have a good reliever, I guess, Giants.
Yeah, for sure. If it doesn't work out, then you just have a good reliever for 11 million, and I guess you kind of eat it.
And a guy who will be on pitching ninja all the time. So people are going to watch Giants games.
Yeah. So I don't know I like. So here's my thing with the Giants. Right, this kind of harping back on the Giants. Their starting rotation on Fangraphs right now is Logan Webb, who's a stud. He's an ace.
I love Logan Webb. Yeah.
Uh, Ross Stripling, who I think sucks.
Oh, I hate him.
Yeah, Kyle Harrison, who is a very high upside prospect, young arm,
Oh,
strike
yeah.
the world. I like him, but he's got his own issues with the zone and shit like that. Jordan Hicks and Keaton Wynn. So Wynn is another younger guy who's like fine, but that rotation, I mean, is Robbie Ray even going to want to come back? Like, there's not. I don't think they're not going to need to push him along because they might. Their bullpen's great, but there might be no need to push Robbie Ray back because the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks might be running away with the division by the time Robbie Ray is coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably just hold him out for the rest of the year. Yeah, I don't love that rotation. There's some excitement there. Obviously, Ross Stripling ruins the whole thing. We can both agree that he throws straight over the top. He throws 89 and it's straight. I don't know how he doesn't give up more runs.
He throws like an Iron Mike.
I know. I just can't stand him for whatever
No,
reason.
I don't like Ross Stripling. I used to like him when he was on the Blue Jays because the Red Sox we get to face him.
Ah, true.
But yeah, there's some like Logan Webb is awesome. Kyle Harrison is
Will
fun.
be honest.
Yeah, Kyle Harrison's super fun. But I don't know, banking on Jordan Hicks to be one of your five starters is a tough look.
Yeah, they have to have someone else, hopefully.
Well, they have Alex Cobb who's coming off a hip injury, but he's like 57.
But I love Alex Cobb.
I do too.
He makes that baseball dance. My God.
But he's going to get hurt.
A hip injury.
Yeah, like
Just had a hip replacement actually, and he's looking to come back.
he's gonna. There's no world where he doesn't get hurt. So that's
Yeah,
tough. But
yeah. Interesting outlook for the Giants this year. They probably won't be that good, but they're gonna have some fun players. So
like, here's the thing though, like they're gonna be pretty good. They're just not gonna be good enough.
they're gonna be one of those Giants teams that just has good team culture.
Yeah, they're gonna have
You're just gonna be like,
they're gonna have 86-ish wins,
yeah,
and maybe they'll make the wild card.
it's gonna be crazy.
But we forgot to talk about Mitch Garver for the Mariners.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Great. Like, so Tom Murphy, where did Tom Murphy sign? Their backup.
Oh, I have no idea actually.
Oh, the
Tom
Giants. I think he literally signed with the Giants.
Lefty Slayer, Tom Murphy. Yeah, Giants.
Giants. So he signs with the Giants, and a couple days later, Mitch Garver signs with the Mariners.
Yeah.
And he's going to play like their DH slash backup catcher role.
Yeah, because you have Big Dump at catch. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I love Mitch Garver. I think he's a really exciting hitter.
He rakes.
His power is insane.
Yeah, Mitch Garver rakes, and I feel really good with him being your DH. And I said it earlier when we were talking about Haniger and Luke Raley, and now add Garver into that conversation now too. They finally got some pop.
exactly. Yeah, we were talking about the Mariners need to hit the ball for power and give Julio Rodriguez some protection in that lineup.
Mhm.
I think they've gone out and gotten pretty affordable pieces,
For sure.
which I think is always I like when like GMs can do that, like kind of piece together a team Moneyball style, get some affordable pieces. Like, dude, Mitch Garver, I'm looking at right now, like an 870 OPS last year,
Yeah.
19 bombs. Like, I mean, he had 344 plate appearances. That's a big enough sample size to know that guy's a stud.
Yeah, that guy he's gonna have a 800 plus OPS.
Yeah, for a catcher, like that's unbelievable.
For a
So
guy that fills in a catcher for you, he's not going to be a great defensive catcher, but he catches the ball back there, and
yeah,
like that's providing some value other than just being a straight up DH. I think
yeah,
the Mariners are heading in the right direction. I think you could still trade Brian Miller or no, what's his name, Bryce Miller. Yeah, there's Bryce Miller and Brian Wu. They're both rookies that came up last year.
that can throw.
Who were very good.
Yeah,
Like you could trade one of them and have Desclafani be your 5,
yeah, and
and
have another bat.
right, and go grab another bat, and then you're talking. Like,
Yeah, I
then
love Bryce Miller is going to be such a stud.
yeah, Bryce
I
Miller.
don't know about Woo, but Bryce Miller is
They're the same. Right,
that's
like they because Bryce Miller's got they both throw a fastball like 60% of the time because they both got that fucking insane ride.
oh yeah.
Um,
And, I mean, you have guys like Matt Brash, who's just insane, otherworldly stuff. You move him to the bullpen. He's just had a little success in the pen now. Like,
yeah, I just want to see the Mariners make the playoffs. I want to see them get a team that's going to make the playoffs.
and the city is like so cool with their support of them. So that'll be sick.
So yeah, again,
Yeah,
I mean, I like the trades. I don't think anybody's getting trade raped here.
yeah, which is huge. We hate that
Right.
unless a team that we hate.
Well, of course.
Yes, obviously.
Um, then the Padres are next to
Padres, who have no money somehow, they went bankrupt and they took out a loan to pay players. Um,
they're paying players, baby.
their owner, I think, died.
Yep.
Yeah, so just like weird things always happening. Also their GM is mad scientist Preller.
Yeah, that guy's
He
crazy.
just like caution to the wind, does crazy things. But yeah, they signed, I mean, 2 solid relief pitchers.
Yeah. So Yuki Matsui was a long deal, but low AAV.
Yeah.
5 years, 28 million. I think he could have probably gotten a higher AAV if he didn't sign for so many years, but maybe he just knew he wanted to be in San Diego. So
I mean, he's solid. I looked at his numbers. He was a solid pitcher.
nasty. He's got a sub 2 ERA in each of the past 3 years over there.
I mean, that's a great price for 5 years of control of a good reliever.
Yeah, and when you're trying to replace Hader, like you can't, Moneyball quote, they're doing it in the aggregates.
Yes, we can
Oh,
create him.
right. So they're trying to create Josh Hader in the aggregate with Yuki Matsui and the best name in baseball by a fucking long shot, Woo Suck Go.
I saw a lot of tweets about this name.
Yes, she
I
suck
don't
on my
know much
woo
about
until
him
I
on
go.
the baseball side, but you have Woo Suck Go.
She suck on my woo till I go.
There it is. There,
It is
someone had to say it.
the greatest tweet ever.
It was like immediately when they signed. That was the only thing I saw. I love you, Twitter, but just show, or X, just show me something.
The 2 years, 4.5 million. So nothing. They got him for nothing.
Yeah, that's barely any part of their loan that they took out. So
If he even resembles a halfway decent reliever, then that's worth it.
yeah, and also like you're the Padres, very hard division. These guys are good. You can always flip them for prospects.
Yeah, for sure. I think Wusako is probably your guy that you're going to flip. I think Matsui is probably in it for the long haul with the 5-year deal.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, you're losing Hader and you got to fill your bullpen somehow. So there you go.
Yeah, I can't say any better.
I can't say I hate it. I think I really like the Matsui deal. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah,
From what I saw.
He is nasty. Two
But
pieces of exciting news. You want to end the episode with these?
yeah, let's do it.
Braves fan. And first off, Anthopoulos extended through 2031. Second piece of very exciting news: Charlie Culberson's back
I saw
as a pitcher.
it. Crazy.
I just think the Braves just like love him. They're just like, yeah,
I,
we'll just give deals. He
I
was on
think
the Braves at one point last year.
as a hitter.
Yeah, he was in the minors. He was brought up for a couple weeks. He did not have one plate appearance, and then he was released. But he's back, baby.
I do think the Braves probably just love him, right?
Yeah, I mean, when your minor league system is as bad as the Braves is, like I think you can take every chance on like really old veterans and just be like, I'll give you a minor league deal. Like I love looking at like the non-roster invites for spring training because the Braves have ridiculous people on it.
Yeah. Yolmer
Like
Sanchez.
Yolmer Sanchez played the full minor league season with the Stripers. But like, yeah, you have like Pablo Sandoval, who ended up making the opening day roster in 2021, which was
Yeah.
insane.
He had the coolest pinch hit home run of all time that year.
Yeah, the fucking Adeiny Echeverria was in Brave spring training last year. Like it's just fun. It's just
yeah,
fun.
He was in Brave spring training, and then he went to he had to go play in like fucking Korea or something.
Yep. And he balled out. He balled out because he's the man. I still follow Adeiny Echeverria on Instagram, by the way. I don't know why.
I used to, for no joke.
He was also a Brave at one point.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I follow random people on Instagram. I don't know why.
Adeiny Echeverria was like the original, like when you were 10, it was like the cool highlight guy.
Yep.
And you thought he was so good. And you look at his stats now, you're like, oh, this guy was kind of terrible.
Yeah, him and my boy, who I've actually met a couple of times, know his dad pretty well, Brandon Phillips.
Oh, yes, of course.
Dad was my hitting coach. He'd make me hit until my hands had blood coming out of them.
But Brandon Phillips was actually good.
Yeah, Brandon Phillips was gross. Have I ever told you Brandon Phillips' workout routine that I witnessed firsthand?
Yes. He did everything with a weighted vest on.
Doesn't lift, just does a full baseball practice with a weighted vest on.
Actually, this reminds me. Before we should do our Hall of Fame ballots before we end the episode. Because Brandon Phillips is on it.
He's on the Hall of Fame ballot. That's actually kind of
yeah, he's on the Hall. So hold on. Let's
2024 Hall of Fame ballot.
Yeah, let's do this real quick. This is how we'll end the episode.
Esteemed national baseball writers.
That's right. That's me.
All right, let's see who we got. Jose Bautista.
So, yeah, we'll go through. Let's go through. So, Bobby Abreu.
Dude, I'm a big Bobby Abreu guy.
I am too, but I think he's classic Hall of really good.
I didn't know he played 18 seasons.
Bobby Abreu, yeah, he was an accumulator to the.
I remember on the Angels. Yeah, he's all very good.
Hall of very good. Jose Bautista, no.
No, yeah, what?
Carlos Beltran. What do you
Jose
think?
Bautista did get good until
he was like 30. He was a Rule 5 guy like 3 times.
Yeah. Carlos Beltran's an interesting one. I was a big Beltran.
Yeah,
fan.
He was the man.
I looking at his numbers, like 25th time, extra base hits.
I have him just barely getting in.
Yeah, I think 20 years with just like every year he was really good. So yeah, I have him.
He'd be on my ballot. He's not going to get in this first year, but he would be on my ballot. Adrian Beltre, absolute slam dunk, 3,000 hits. He's in.
You forget how good Adrian Beltre is.
He was so good.
Also, how funny he was.
Yeah, he's the man.
His funniest ejection ever was when he moved the on deck circle.
Yeah, he's my friend. So my one of my best friends. He's like kind of will likes baseball. Will kind of watch it. Adrian Beltre is his favorite player of all time by far.
Yeah, he's so funny
because he's just funny.
Yeah,
I think he's definitely not alone. Like everybody loves Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, we got Mark Burley.
No,
did he throw a no hitter or a perfect game?
I think he might have thrown both. He definitely threw. I think he threw a perfect game.
He also had that epic PFP through the legs.
Of course, Bartolo Colon. Speaking of PFPs,
the hall of just you just kept playing.
Yeah, no, he's a no. Adrian
Bartolo
Gonzalez.
Colon also was like three different pitchers. Like he started off throwing 100.
Yeah,
The end of his career, he's throwing 86 by power two seamers that moved like the whole plate.
yeah,
Like he can just do whatever he wants.
yeah. He did whatever.
Now
Still
he's
not
pitching
Hall of
in
Fame.
Dubai.
True.
Adrian Gonzalez.
He's a no. He didn't. I looked him up. He didn't do it long enough.
No, I also didn't know he played 15 years. What the hell?
What do you
Todd
think
Helton.
about Todd Helton?
I want Todd Helton in.
I do too. I think statistically, I wouldn't put him in, but when you think of the Rock, I think historical significance is important when you talk about the Hall of Fame. And when you think of the Rockies,
They have nothing.
you think about Todd Helton.
I do. He's the face of the Rockies.
He's like still the face of the Rockies. So I think he might be on my ballot, but I don't know.
Yeah. Also, Todd Helton, backup quarterback at University of Tennessee to Peyton Manning.
Awesome.
They're best friends to this day.
Matt Holliday didn't do enough.
Yeah, it's very good. Torrey Hunter.
No.
I loved Torrey Hunter.
So did I, but no, he didn't do it long enough either.
Andrew Jones needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Talked about this. And
Yeah.
I'm very biased. But his stats are insane.
Yeah,
For a center fielder.
he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's the best defensive center fielder of all time.
Yeah, and he just happened to hit for what? How many home runs in his career? I'm looking right now.
437.
34 home runs. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, this guy won what, 10 gold gloves and hit 434 home runs.
Yeah.
Who's doing that? Only Andrew Jones.
Only Hall of Famers do that.
Unreal.
Victor Martinez, no. Cool player, though.
Yeah, B-Mart, sick.
Joe Mauer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have him in too.
one of the best to ever do it.
I can
Joe
see
Mauer
that.
was like the most talented guy ever.
Oh, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
a 5-star quarterback.
Yeah.
He goes first round. Also, it's cool he stayed in Minnesota.
Oh, cool.
So sick.
Yeah. Andy Pettit, no.
No, just pitched for a while.
Brandon Phillips, baby.
No, but
Oh, cool.
I love Brandon Phillips.
Good for
Great
you being on the
defender.
ballot.
Had some really good hitting years. Didn't hit amazingly his whole career, but he is still a great defender.
Yeah. So here's where you get your take on steroids. Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting him in. I mean, he's literally my favorite player ever. So
Yeah,
I'm so biased.
I loved watching Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first Red Sox game. I was 6 years old, and I was being carried up over on my dad's shoulder so I could see the field. And the only player I would look at was Manny Ramirez.
Yes.
Like he's by far my favorite player ever. Literally one of my heroes. So
yeah, and he robbed a home run, high-fived a fan, and then threw someone out, which is so sick.
So I'm putting him in, but I will be consistent. I would have put Barry Bonds. I would have put Roger Clemens. I'm a steroid guy. I don't really care that much. I'll be honest.
I love him. Jose Reyes.
No, he didn't.
The fall off of Jose Reyes.
Huh?
The fall off of Jose Reyes.
I was looking him up. He was really good when he was like 23 to 27, and then it's like stopped.
Yeah, it's so weird. He had a very quick prime.
A-Rod, yes.
Yeah, you got to put A-Rod in. He was one of the best hitters ever.
696 home runs. Going to be hard to leave that off.
Yeah.
Francisco Rodriguez.
A-Rod.
As a case, but I'm still just barely leaving him off.
Yeah, he tailed off too much.
Yeah.
He wasn't consistently amazing.
Jimmy Rollins.
I would say no.
Yeah, he's a no for me.
But like a very solid leadoff hitter for a long time.
Yeah, awesome player. One of my favorites growing up. But Gary Sheffield.
I love Gary Sheffield.
Yeah, he had over 500 homers.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a tough mark to not put in.
Let's see, 6 MVPs, 500 homers. I'll put Gary Sheffield. I feel like
6 MVPs? What are we talking about?
not 6 MVPs, 6 All-Stars.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, top 10 in MVP 6 times.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Honestly, the steroid thing kind of holds me
That's,
back on this one because I hold the steroid guys to a higher.
yeah, if you do steroids, you have to be really, really good.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I could go either way. I'll throw him on just cause. Why not?
Yeah, I that's what I like. That's what I like to do. It's like I'm not going to gatekeep the Hall of Fame. If a guy was a great player that changed his team, he should be in the Hall of Fame, and
Yeah,
he did it a long time.
especially when you hit like the 500 home run milestone. That's hard to keep off.
Why is James Shields on my screen right now?
I don't know, but he's a no automatically.
He was good a couple of years.
What's your take on Chase Utley? This is an interesting one.
I'm gonna say no.
Mine's a yes.
I hate Chase Ellie so much.
Well, yeah. Well, there's obviously that, but
Um, I mean, Chase Ellie was consistently good
he
for a long.
but they're like, hold on. So Acuna had like a 8.5 F4 this past
Yeah,
year, right? Chase Utley, I'll read you his F4 from this is for 5 seasons in a row
yeah,
from if my phone would work from 2005 to 2009. Each season, his WAR was 7.2, 7.2, 7.7, 8.2, 8.2.
consistently really, really good.
Like great.
Yeah, he
Like he
was.
had his 61.6 F4 for his career, was a really good base runner, raked
And
some
led the
really
league.
good Phillies teams.
Led the league in hit by pitches like 3 years in a row.
He has the all-time record for um, base stealing efficiency.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like
What?
86% for his career. He never got caught stealing like ever. So
Dang.
he's in for me. So that's our one discrepancy there, I guess.
Well,
And
Margaret Skill.
well, he's like a pedophile, so I can't really put him on.
I
You
didn't
know
know
that?
that.
Yeah, he like molested a bat boy, and his wife also accused him of sexual harassment, or no, not domestic abuse. Sorry.
Yeah, so you can't rock with that.
No, I
Good
can't rock with
defender.
him. Yeah,
Good
good,
defender.
good at shortstop though.
Didn't really hit all that well.
Billy Wagner, he's a yes for me.
Yes, Billy Wagner's amazing.
Yeah, he almost
Also, the
threw.
fact Billy Wagner born right-handed,
Yeah.
and he broke his arm, so he just started throwing
So he
lefty.
started throwing 100 with his left arm.
I'm starting to think they made a mistake making him right-handed. They're like, oh yeah, he's right-handed.
Yeah, right. Sure, I am.
Backwoods doctor, he was.
And then our last one is David Wright, who unfortunately is not a Hall of Famer.
Just because he got hurt. Like
Yeah,
he would have been if he didn't have some freak spinal thing.
we were saying if he didn't get hurt, he would have been a Hall of Famer when he was still playing.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So he
Like
can't be a
not
Hall of
changing
Famer now.
anything. Dang. Yeah, I like David Wright too, even though he, was not on my team. I still thought he was a cool player.
So my ballot is Beltran, Beltre, uh, yeah, Beltran, Beltre, Andrew Jones, Joe Mauer, Manny Ramirez, A Rod, Sheffield, Utley, Wagner. So 9.
Love it.
And yours is are you putting on Helton?
Yeah,
So
and taking
we
off Utley.
okay, so we both have 9, just the discrepancies are you have Helton and I don't, and I have Utley and you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Both good ballots. If I saw that come through my Twitter feed with whoever that guy is that posts all the ballots, I'd be like, this is a good ballot. So
I hate the writers that just don't select anyone.
yeah, you're an asshole.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's like you
Most of
didn't.
the ballots suck, and the Hall of Fame is kind of like a dog and pony show anyway at this point, but it's still fun to go through the ballot and remember players.
Oh, so many historical good players. Name a historical player that wasn't good.
That wasn't good.
Yeah, just a random MLB player.
Dwayne Kuiper.
Okay, don't know that one.
He was the giant. I was literally looking him up today because was the Giants announcer that did Barry Bonds' 756th home,
Nice.
and he hit one career home run
Oh,
in I think 900 something games.
jeez.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Brooks Conrad.
Brooks.
Speaking of the, and also I've been thinking about Carlos Gonzalez and his swing a lot recently. Don't know
Carlos,
why.
who's Carlos Gonzalez?
Cargo.
Oh, that Carl. Oh, Jesus. I forgot about Carl.
Because
Yeah.
I was watching. Remember Chase Davis at Arizona? I think he's in the
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Cardinals. Cardinals.
Yeah, like his swing came up on my Twitter. I was like, damn.
It's
Dude,
exactly, it's literally cargo.
I know. I was like, I miss watching Cargo play. So
Yeah.
I have to wait a few years and then Chase Davis will be up and I can watch it.
Yeah. So, all right. And until then, everybody who just go watch cargo highlights, go watch the time he hit a cycle and a walk-off home run. It was cool.
Oh, into the third deck, dude.
All right. Wrap it up. Stop recording. Thank you, everybody. Peace.